The girl felt great. She enjoyed this time. A man appeared in the room and brought her a hot drink. She is sure that this world has always been so wonderful. The girl believes that next year will be just as wonderful. She wants to go to the fortune teller like last time. The man does not understand this desire. The girl has achieved success in her business, so she wants to continue communicating with the fortune teller. She takes this seriously. It's not a joke for her. Her name is Chloe, and in her 22 years she has been through hell and achieved success. It all started when she was 17. Her parents died and left her alone. Chloe was left alone, having inherited her parents' company, a huge inheritance, and since childhood she had attended business classes. Her first subjects helped her during this difficult period. They were always there. After the funeral, the girl found a prediction from a festival she attended with her parents. She read that she was in for a great sorrow that she needed to overcome. Chloe was surprised that everything was spot on. The girl began attending every festival and constantly took predictions for the next year. Chloe found nothing positive in the predictions. They constantly frightened her with their worst development. She was unable to run the business and had to travel around the area in search of new assistants. She learned to make decisions carefully because of all the failures that haunted her. Chloe didn't miss a day to get her prediction. She was afraid of what might await her next. The girl was delighted when she read the positive prediction. She decided not to delay and invest all her funds into the business, and she had hoped that things would take off. They tried to stop her, but the girl didn't listen to anyone. Chloe was looking forward to the launch day. She would have to find a new job to cover her debts if things didn't work out. The girl spent a lot of time waiting. She began to think that another failure awaited her. She felt a strange relief, and it began to seem to her that she had reached the bottom. David burst into the office. He could hardly contain his emotions. He wanted to tell the girl everything. Chloe waited for him. She thought she would hear about her failure. She was informed that the entire batch had been sold out, that 1,000 new orders were appearing, that she had succeeded in achieving greatness. The man was glad that they managed to do it. He wanted to hug the girl after so many years of suffering. He saw how the girl worked for many years after the death of her parents. The man supported her. David is happy that everything worked out for her, that all the effort spent was fully worth it. Chloe can't believe that she can pay off all the debts and all the workers, that she can compensate for all the damage caused to people. She can continue to manage the company. The girl could not contain her emotions of happiness. The man doesn't want the girl to cry, and she's not going to stop until David calms down himself. Talk was her product. Thanks to this machine, people no longer need to go to the post office. They can communicate with people without leaving home. People can't imagine their lives without this machine, and everyone's bad emotions about waiting so long for someone to respond have disappeared. Chloe became rich thanks to her arrangement and was awarded a title of nobility. She received the award because her car became the product of the year. Success followed her. The girl continues to believe in the predictions of her grandmother on the street. Chloe wants to get a new prediction. The man has no desire to follow her again. She can't go alone. She needs the company of a loved one. David suggested that she hire a maid so that she could replace him. Chloe intends to spend time with him. She does not need anyone else. The boy was waiting for the Duke's order. He reacted to his every action. He wants to place an order and needs the advice of his person to make the right choice. People were having fun on the street. They enjoyed every minute of it. Chloe enjoyed visiting her grandmother. She was glad to visit her after a long time. She felt uncomfortable when people called her Countess and asked her grandmother not to address her that way. The girl thanked her grandmother for her help. She improved the conditions of her shop. Chloe is confident that success awaits her in the future, and she is not afraid to draw the coveted piece of paper. She read that success awaited her next year, and the girl was incredibly happy about it. The girl has prepared a good payment for her. Chloe will not leave here until she pays. Chloe is grateful to her for helping her when her grandmother didn't make her rich. The woman reminded that Chloe is responsible for her own destiny. She was used to the girl coming to her every day. She would wait for their next meeting. Chloe promises to come back. She wants to tell her grandfather that success awaits her again. The girl noticed a strange detail. There was a chest with new messages near the exit. The woman said that this was her new service, and she invited Chloe to participate in it. The girl read the description of a game in which you can try your luck and draw a blessing or a curse. She saw a description of all the examples of what could happen to a person. Chloe decided to choose one piece of paper for good luck. She believes that everything will be fine for her. The girl knows that none of this works, so she calmly walked to the carriage. The woman did not reveal her secret to her. She will wait until the girl finds out everything. The man waited for the girl for a long time. He could not leave without her. Chloe returned in high spirits, and nothing could spoil it. She showed him a piece of paper that could make her life either better or worse. David understands that his grandmother can't do anything, and that it's time for the girl to stop believing in her predictive powers. He noted how much the girl believed in predictions, and in his opinion, she should grow up. Chloe understands his concerns and tells him that she doesn't believe what's happening that much. She knows that a happy year awaits her, so she is not afraid of this piece of paper. The girl didn't understand what she read. This piece of paper seemed strange to her. Chloe asked the girl to read the message so that he could explain its meaning. He noted that she had received a good blessing and that the girl needed to show friendliness to others. The girl herself said that she doesn't take this seriously and that she can't calm down. She agreed with her grandfather. She didn't need to pay attention to it when she had another successful year ahead of her. Chloe returned home in a good mood. The first case of this year was completed successfully. She can rest. She has a special client. The girl knows no one more important than the imperial family. This was an order from the Duke. He was born into a family of magicians, has talent. The guy decided not to leave his possessions for the capital. The girl is happy to fulfill such an important order because even more people can learn about her. She works quickly to ensure that every client can try out her machine in action and feel comfortable working with it. David sent the Duke a car as a gift. He gave the girl the order number. She wants to contact him and find out his opinion about her device. Chloe has created a custom talk with cats and is looking to expand the line to reach a larger customer base. She was surprised when she saw the Duke's order. The girl thought that he wanted to make a gift for everyone in his house. She liked the Duke's handwriting and noticed how neat it was. Chloe introduced the Duke as a decent man and liked the way he addressed her. The girl can write to him at any time, but her grandfather warned her that the answer might not come immediately due to the Duke's workload. Chloe won't complain about the VIP client. She will do everything to make the Duke happy with her work. She let the man go. He can bring her a snack and go about his business. The girl herself will communicate with the Duke. He was asked to stop grumbling. The man was unhappy with this remark. He left quietly. The girl was left alone. She was thinking about her first big order this year. It was a good start. Chloe read about it in her prediction. She sat for a while in thought. Chloe collected her thoughts and wrote to the Duke. The girl didn't know what the future held for her. Her legs turned to stone. Before this incident, she wrote a whole letter to the Duke. The girl wants to know all the details of his order. Peter was free. He saw the notification from the girl and started writing a response. Chloe was surprised that she started getting responses so quickly. She was eagerly waiting for the guy to write to her. The girl doesn't understand why there is still no message. She sat for 10 minutes waiting. Peter is used to writing by hand, so he works slowly with the machine. She didn't understand why the Duke was typing so slowly. She was waiting too long for an answer. Chloe received an official letter from the Duke, the first time she saw a person who communicates in this way through her talk. She's not going to communicate with him in that style. Chloe will stick to informal communication. She wondered how the Duke would respond to her after her simple messages. The girl heard that the Duke could use a sword and magic, but she had never seen him or heard his voice. Chloe had a good conversation with the Duke. She sees no point in continuing the conversation after receiving all the information. She wrote him a final message thanking him for choosing her product. David decided to bring the girl a snack. He doesn't want her to forget about food. Chloe wanted to leave a couple of pieces, but the man asks her to eat every last crumb. The man asks Chloe to respond to the Duke's latest message, fearing that she might offend an important person. The girl doesn't see the point in writing when everything important has been said, and they begin to reproach her for disrespect and lack of knowledge of etiquette. Chloe put on the mask of a polite person. She does not want to lose the Duke as a client. She started eating when she wrote the last message. She has to respond to the Duke's message. She can't finish the conversation first. She doesn't understand the Duke's behavior. Every time she answers, a new message comes. Chloe, like David, didn't know how to react to this. The girl saw no point in answering further and was allowed to end this dialogue. The man asked Chloe to finish everything. He would leave her and come at any moment if she needed help. Chloe would like a man to take care of himself like that. She is able to think about her own health. She was looking at new possible designs for Talk. She needed to contact the professionals. A strange feeling surrounded her. She couldn't pull herself together. She thought she saw someone standing behind her. She turned around to check and saw an empty space. Goosebumps ran down her spine. She was worrying for nothing. Chloe realized that she couldn't move. The girl thought that she had fallen asleep and her body was paralyzed. David ran into the office after hearing the girl's desperate scream. The servants surrounded her. They wanted to help her, but did not know how. The girl doesn't think a doctor is needed here. She's sure a magician can help in this matter. Chloe agreed with her. She understands that what happened can be explained by magic. David is worried that the girl crossed the path of a powerful magician, so they took revenge on her. The power of magicians is limited by rules. There are people who bypass them, thanks to which they can send curses on their enemies. The girl did not harm anyone. She wears a ring that can neutralize many curses. The man realized what could have caused the girl's illness. Chloe didn't immediately understand what he was talking about. She remembered what could be behind it. The two of them started talking about the fortune teller's game, and they recalled the essence of the note word for word. The girl doesn't believe that it was a magic note that caused her problem. David reminded that the girl should always have the final say and that she should be friendly with everyone. Chloe found it hard to believe, and she decided to say the last word to end this conversation. Nothing happened. Everyone was surprised that the girl's legs were still like stone. David asks her to think carefully. The girl was working all this time. She couldn't do anything. She thought about the correspondence with the Duke, in which she had not answered him. She needed to correct this while her hands could still move. The man asked her to work faster. He was worried that the girl would not have time to answer. Chloe found it difficult to write a reply. Her body stopped obeying her. She did not know what to write to the Duke. David was afraid for the girl. He could not do anything in this situation. The girl turned into stone, and the servants could not stop this process. Peter was preparing for a trip to the capital. He was worried that he had not packed all his things. Tom reassured him, reminding him that they always find out about an incident through the talks who came to them. The guy agreed with him. He didn't think that this machine would be so useful and convenient. The servant had never seen how this device worked. He would like to see how the sending of a letter took place. The Duke decided to clearly demonstrate the process of writing a letter, and he described each stage. The guy received a new message. It was a good example to show how talk works. Chloe came to in bed, surprised to see familiar walls. She began to check her body. The girl was afraid to see that she had become a stone. David appeared in the room when the girl woke up. He wanted to know that she was okay. Chloe doesn't believe that it wasn't a dream. She refuses to accept the fact that what is happening is real. The man was worried about her condition and reported that the girl had been unconscious for several hours. Night fell. The girl could not digest what had happened. She could have thought that it was a dream, but the unpleasant sensations she experienced did not allow her to do so. She was informed that she had returned to her previous state when the last letter was sent to the Duke. Chloe realized that the fortune teller had betrayed her and bewitched her after the girl bought her a new shop. A man understands that a girl is obliged to respond to everyone who addresses her, that she must be polite so as not to become a statue. She reminded her that the curse lasts for a year, and she needs to survive in this state for a little while. David is sure that the girl will turn into stone by the end of the year because the countdown has only just begun. Chloe tried to hide her excitement. She would have to communicate with many people, and she would have to speak last every time. She doesn't remember what she answered the Duke. David was frightened by it. Tom saw the girl's message. He thought that she sent the Duke. He doesn't like this kind of attitude towards his lordship. Peter doesn't understand the meaning of these messages. He doesn't see any insults in them. Tom decided to pretend that the girl wrote to him by mistake. He wanted to save face. The Duke remembered that one must be careful when writing letters so as not to embarrass oneself in front of one's interlocutor. The servant didn't like the girl's reaction. He thought she was out of her mind to answer the Duke like that. Chloe stopped breathing when she saw that she had laughed at the Duke. She doesn't know how to fix the situation. Nothing comes to mind. She had the idea to tell the truth so as not to lie about the poor performance of her device. She was reminded that the note said she could not tell people about her curse. The girl was told that nothing happened to the man because they read the curse together. Chloe decided to add new features to the device after sending random messages. David is sure that the Duke did not understand anything because he did not leave his domain and only recently learned to communicate with the world. The man's words calmed Chloe. He knew what to tell her. The girl can calm down. She realized that she is communicating with a good person. David thinks that the girl changed her attitude towards the Duke because of his large order. Some time passed. She could not go outside. So as not to turn into stone, she was not allowed to communicate with the outside world. She's lucky she can run the company from home. Chloe hasn't spoken to people in days. The silence is killing her. She wants to find her grandmother to lift the curse. Chloe can't live in this state for a whole year. David found some interesting information. He thinks that he can burn the note to remove the curse. Chloe liked the idea and asked her grandfather where the damn note was. The girl remembered how she gave it away in the carriage and asked the man to throw it away. David did what Chloe asked him to do. He got rid of the note right away. She doesn't understand the man's joy because they can't complete such a simple plan. They started shouting at each other. They were unhappy with their actions. Chloe didn't want to sit at home for a whole year. She decided to go outside to find a solution to her problem. The man brought her to the Magical Information Agency, where they could find answers. The girl hopes that she came here for a reason. She wants to remove the curse. Inside the building, the man was met by the administrator. David said that he had come here for a consultation. Chloe felt comfortable inside the building, noting how bright and warm the place was. The man was told that he would have to wait a bit. They could not be allowed to go ahead because of other customers. The girl won't go anywhere. She has no choice. She will have to wait until her time begins. The Duke appeared in the room. He had business here. Peter is beautiful. Its appearance attracts everyone's attention. The girl examined his sword. She was sure that the Duke was the only magician who used such a weapon. Tom noticed the girl and didn't like the way she was looking at the Duke. The servant apologized to the girl for being late. The administrator asked them not to worry. She would take the Duke to the right place. Chloe asks her grandfather not to interfere. She is ready to wait while the Duke sorts out his affairs. Peter noticed that he was not the first to come here. David said that there were others who had signed up for a consultation before them. His voice was as beautiful as his appearance. He noticed the girl. Chloe couldn't look at him properly. She was blinded by his beauty, so she didn't hear what he was saying. The guy wanted to let the girl go first so that she wouldn't have to wait for the consultation because he was late. David had no intention of refusing such generosity from the Duke. The girl could not stop him. She thanked the guy for this. She tried to hide her face. The man reminded her that she couldn't leave without an answer, and Chloe completely forgot about the curse. The girl understands that she will behave strangely, but her life was more important than her reputation. Chloe wanted to leave quietly so that no one would pay attention to her. Peter hopes that everything will work out for the girl, and he wished her all the best. The girl was unhappy because the guy answered her again and she would have to talk to him again. She tried to make sure that her word was the last one, but it didn't work. The guy always answered her. Chloe doesn't understand why the Duke is acting like this. It was strange for her. Peter asks to ignore him and move on. The girl doesn't know how to make sure her word is the last one. David suggested that they run away after she said goodbye so that she wouldn't have to hear the guy answering her. Tom noticed that something was wrong with the girl. He couldn't ignore it. Chloe had to talk to him. She said that she didn't have any problems. The boy doesn't understand why the girl still hasn't gone forward when the Duke was polite enough to let her pass. The girl lost her temper and told them that she could not leave because of their answers, so she insistently asked them to shut up. Peter was surprised by the girl's reaction to his behavior. He wanted to apologize. Chloe started yelling at him not to tell her anything. The guy froze. He couldn't do anything. Tom is angry at this attitude towards the Duke. Chloe realizes that she looks like a crazy person. David was ashamed of the girl's behavior. She couldn't help herself. Everyone felt awkward being there. No one dared to talk to the girl. The child was a known information agent. She did not inspire confidence. David heard that this girl became young because of a curse. Chloe should behave more respectfully. Emily listened carefully to the butler. She needed to look at the girl to check her condition. She touched Chloe and the girl felt the cold spread through her body. Emily said that such a curse can be cast by a powerful magician. David wants to know what can be done about it. She believes that they were cursed by one person. The girl told about a powerful and evil creature. The rogue can curse even the most powerful mage. His power can lead to either destruction or good fortune. Chloe saw her grandmother, not the rogue. The girl doesn't know what to think. Emily said that the curse was difficult to lift, and she was consoled by the fact that the girl had to wait a year. The girl didn't like that they weren't going to help her. Emily wasn't going to do anything. She would love to remove her curse, but she can't. Emily can help with simple spells. There's nothing for her to do here. Chloe is unhappy that she has to pay for the lack of help. Emily allowed me to take the book with me, which contained everything about the rogue. The girl asks Chloe to think positively because she was cursed for only a year, not for life. Chloe doesn't see anything good here. The curse made her look stupid in front of the Duke. There is nothing she can do in this situation. She has to accept the situation and return home. The girl regretted wasting her time on this expensive trip. Tom will definitely remember the girl as crazy. Chloe managed to ruin the relationship with him on the very first meeting. David doesn't leave her alone. He makes sure she doesn't get hurt. Peter saw a book about a rogue in the girl's hands, and it interested him. He wanted to talk to her, but didn't have time. The girl quickly ran out of the room so as not to talk to him. Chloe wants to believe that she won't turn to stone and will continue to live. The man reassures her. He believes that the girl will be able to survive this year. They must be strong. They noticed that the Duke was carefully examining her book. They are sure that he is not a simple magician. Chloe called the guy weird, and it didn't immediately dawn on her that she had met the same Duke she had been chatting with on Talk Talk. David reassured her. The girl was in a hood the whole time, so she would not be recognizable the next time they met. She agreed with him, but believed that because of her behavior, her image would remain in the Duke's memory for a long time. The girl continued to work at home. She tried to behave carefully so as not to turn into stone. Chloe received a message from the Duke. She thought that he recognized her and thought she was crazy. She relaxed because the guy was writing about paying for the order. Chloe found the writing style strange and didn't understand why the guy was communicating with her using polite and formal messages. The girl did not notice that the Duke had not made the full payment for the large order. She checked the documents, the shortage was confirmed. Chloe was calm because the Duke promised to return the missing money. The guy quickly received a response to his message, and in his usual manner, he sent her a reply letter. He liked talking to the girl because she was friendly with him. Chloe couldn't finish this conversation. She couldn't calm down because of his manner. Last time, she almost turned to stone because she was tired of answering the endless stream of messages. She began to think that the guy had the same curse because he responded to all the meaningless messages. The girl hinted in every way possible to end the conversation, but she couldn't do it. Her patience ran out. Chloe doesn't want to text him all night. She'll have to wait until the Duke gets tired and stops responding. She received a message regarding the matter. The girl organized a party to which she invited people who had placed large orders. The girl knows that only the invited person's significant other or relative can come in place of him, so as not to shake the nobleman's ego. The guy doesn't have people who can replace him. His arrival at the party will cause an incredible stir, which will be good for Chloe's business. She started to worry because the guy might recognize her at the party. The girl believed that this was a good moment to end the conversation, but the guy continued to answer all her messages. Chloe made a list of all the invited guests. She was exhausted after talking with the guy. She had a hard time finishing her conversation with the Duke. She was on the verge of life and death because of his politeness. David suggests that the girl skip the party so as not to put herself in danger. She can refer to illness. Chloe has to appear in front of influential people. She will prepare properly so that nothing terrible happens. Grandpa couldn't convince Chloe, and she almost forgot to thank him for his help. The party was going great. People were enjoying the evening. Chloe didn't want to attend the event, but she had no choice, so she helped her get ready for the night out. Lily hadn't worked with the girl for a long time, and she was pleased to see Chloe in such a mood. She came back from a vacation that Chloe had organized. She was one of a kind who created the best conditions for her people. They became friends when Chloe's parents took Lily from the orphanage. The girl regretted that Lily returned to work because of the charity evening. She wants her friend to feel good. Lily was often sick, so her parents sent her to the seaside every year, and Chloe continued this tradition. She came back here because David asked her to keep a girl company during a party. Chloe decided to talk to people one by one. It would be easier for her to finish the conversation first. Her strength quickly left her. The girl can't wait for this evening to end. A grandfather appeared in the room. He was behaving strangely. Chloe doesn't understand what's happening. She wants to run away so she doesn't have to see it anymore. Peter entered the room. He wanted to talk to the hostess of the evening. The girl was not ready for this. She wanted to make sure she never crossed paths with him. The guys recognized the girl who had behaved strangely during the consultation, and they couldn't forget her image. Peter greeted her, pushing aside the thoughts that had appeared in his head. Chloe was glad he came to the event. She couldn't believe that she actually ran into the Duke then. She hopes that the guy didn't recognize her because of the hood, which she didn't take off. She was afraid to look at him. Peter was glad to meet him and was wondering where they could meet. Chloe realizes that she has been recognized, and she wants to run away from this shame. Tom noticed that the girl remembered them too. He demands that she explain her strange behavior that day. David came to her aid. He said that she had a good reason for behaving this way. The guy is shocked that the man also remembers them. He is ready to listen to the reason for their behavior. He won't let the Duke stop him. Tom can't turn a blind eye to disrespectful behavior towards the Duke. Chloe doesn't blame them. She knows she looked crazy to the outside. Tom recalled how the girl communicated with the Duke in Talk Talk, how she yelled at him on the street of magicians. He demands an explanation. The girl was surprised when she realized that the Duke had shown her messages to his knight. David takes the floor. He wants to explain everything himself so that the girl stays silent. He found it difficult to get the words out. All his confidence had vanished. Chloe realized that David couldn't tell her about the curse because of the conditions. The girl had to say that the reason for her strange behavior was a story that made her cry. She can't tell her because it was a secret. Chloe apologized for her behavior. She can't tell them anything else. Tom reminded them that they had been promised that they would be told everything so that they could understand the reason why the girl was behaving like crazy. The girl noted that it was not she who made this promise, but her butler. Tom wants to challenge the girl to a duel because she is disrespecting the Duke, and he cannot allow this to continue. Peter agreed with the girl. He would not ask her to explain everything. He believes she had a good reason for behaving this way. Chloe believes that the man standing in front of her is a saint. Peter was kind to her. The guy understands that everyone has things they don't want to share, so he doesn't pressure her. Peter regrets that he went too far and apologizes for his behavior. Tom and Chloe did not argue with the Duke. They did not understand why Peter was behaving this way with the girl. David was touched by the Duke's generosity and hoped that the girl would support him in this. He had to pressure Chloe to be careful in front of the Duke. Chloe is deeply grateful to him for his understanding and wishes him a good time at the event. Peter will look forward to their next meeting. The girl tried to say goodbye to him last. The guy caught her every word. She noted that the guy does not have to respond to every word she says. Peter does not notice how he does it. Chloe waits until he gets tired of talking. She doesn't want to talk to him. Tom was furious with the girl's behavior. She thinks that he should be angry with Peter because he can't shut up. David confirmed that the girl had behaved rudely, that she again looked like a crazy person. The man asked the girl to get ready to go out. Guests were awaiting her arrival. Chloe is ready to appear at the event. She must act carefully to save her life. The charity silent auction began. The host welcomed all guests and warned them about the special features of the evening. The guy will pay attention to the guest numbers. He began to present the first lot. Tom wants to know why the Duke is acting kindly towards the girl. He reminded her of how the girl had insulted him. Peter realized that she might have had a good reason for treating him that way. The knight sees no reason why the girl is allowed to shout at the Duke. He cannot calm down. Tom thought that Peter wanted to strengthen his working relationship with the Countess. Peter didn't think about it. He just likes the girl. He sees that they are similar. The event continued. Chloe was protected because no one speaks here. No one will talk to the auction organizer. She is glad to be in this position. She saw that Tom and Peter were talking. The girl thought that they didn't like being there. Chloe is happy because the lots are sold at an inflated price. She will donate all the money earned to charity. Peter decided to leave the room. The knight did not follow him. The girl imagined how the guys communicate with each other. She couldn't help but smile. David noticed it. Peter was different from all the nobles. There was something special about him. Chloe was used to being treated without respect because of her sudden title. Peter treated her like a real countess. Tom knows that the Duke is fixated on speaking last, and he can't do that with a girl. He believes that the Duke is mistaken. Peter asks the knight to evaluate the Countess impartially. Peter sees her as a genuine and sensitive person, despite seeing her yell at him. The Duke asks Tom to look at the Countess from a different angle so that he can see her true face. Tom won't say anything. He won't be able to convince the Duke. The guy enjoyed the evening. He felt a strange energy. He asked the knight to stay here. The guy would check everything personally. Peter senses an ominous manna. The guy follows in its footsteps. The Duke felt a tremendous force shaking the air, and in the corridor he heard someone calling for help. Lily couldn't leave. The guy pestered her, asking questions about her incredible manna. She thinks the guy in front of her has gone crazy. He offers her his help so that she can deal with the manna. He hit her because she wouldn't listen to him. Peter stood between them. He wouldn't allow girls to be treated like that. The Duke noted the rudeness with which the boy treated the servants in this house. The guy thinks that the Duke is blind because he doesn't see the energy emanating from the girl. Lily can be made invincible by adding a little more mana to her body and unlocking what she's capable of. Peter agreed with him. He sees what can be made out of the girl. Unstable mana emanates from her. Lily's body cannot withstand such power. It begins to die. The Duke reminded that there is a protocol that mages must adhere to in such situations. He explained that an official request had to be sent, and that no one would just follow him. Greg doesn't like being criticized. He was trying to help the girl because she didn't look her best. Peter asks him to stop. He will take this matter to the Court of Magicians. Greg decided to ask the girl what she thought about his actions. Lily didn't answer. She didn't want to talk to him. The guy was angry. He wanted to help her with all his heart, but they didn't listen to him. Peter and Lily didn't expect him to lose his temper. They didn't know what to do. Chloe is glad the auction is moving quickly. She did the right thing when she created conditions so that there would be no unnecessary talk. She doesn't understand why the Duke hasn't taken his place yet, and the girl begins to worry. The girl, like everyone else present, heard a scream, and everyone was scared. She doesn't understand what it was. She needs to figure out what's going on. Greg didn't listen to anyone. He started doing what he wanted to do. He started pumping mana. Peter tries to stop him. He understands that the girl may not be able to bear it and die after this. The guy was unstoppable. He went crazy. He enjoyed what was happening. The Duke doesn't understand why Greg's face has changed. He watches his every move. Greg got his way. He ran away when he succeeded. Peter wanted to catch up with him, but he can't leave the girl in this state. He has to help her. Lily is one of those people who has mana but is unable to use it. The guy doesn't like that the employee poured mana into her without any preparation. He's worried about the girl's condition. The Duke tried to restore the girl's mana for the first time. He must calm her down. He heard that it was an unpleasant process, and after a couple of minutes he felt ill. Lily began to breathe normally. The guy managed to stabilize her condition. Chloe saw this. She didn't understand what happened here. She was scared for her friend. It was difficult for Peter to explain to the girl what he was doing. His head was spinning. The Countess would not stand aside when someone was harming her people. She rushed to protect the girl. She took the vase as a weapon. The girl thought that the Duke was a good man, but she was wrong about him. Before Peter could say anything, he got hit on the head with a vase. The last thing the guy saw was the girl crying because she was worried. She was afraid that she might lose her friend. Chloe couldn't calm down. This picture scared the hell out of her. She doesn't pay attention to the Duke. The girl believes that her life has come to an end. She beat the Duke, and she must pay for it. David reassured her. He believed that everything would be fine, but the girl could not agree with him. When Lily came to, she told that the Duke tried to help her. She told every detail. Peter stood up for her when she encountered a magician. He attacked her and brought her to a strange state. The Duke tried to stop everything. Chloe couldn't have known what was going on. She believes that anyone in her place could have made a mistake. The girl promises herself that she will find the magician who dared to touch her friend. She will get him from under the ground. The man saw that the girl was worried. She didn't hide the fact that not everything was well with her. Tom doesn't want to talk to her after she knocked the Duke out for 2 days. She's lucky the blow wasn't fatal. They promised to inform her when the Duke came to his senses, and she asked her grandfather about his well-being. Lily arrived at a time when the man could not say anything about the Duke's condition. She asked for forgiveness. The girl believes that she is to blame for the current situation. Chloe asks her to calm down. The girl does not blame her friend. They were completely fine. Lily is worried that the girl's company might be destroyed because of her. She doesn't want to be the cause of another failure. Chloe is confident that she will be fine and that the company will continue to grow. She doesn't say that the Duke can easily close the company. The girl pretended that her business is not as helpless as everyone thinks. The girl hid the fact that she could lose her home and that she would not be able to pay all the employees. Lily was pleased to hear that she hadn't messed anything up. Chloe is confident that they will be able to explain everything to the Duke, and he will not take revenge on them. The girl successfully feigned complete confidence, and she made Lily believe her words. Lily feels better after working on her mana. Her health has improved, and she can become a successful mage. She wants to go with the Countess to the Duke to check on her condition. Lily feels involved in his condition. Chloe isn't sure they'll be welcome on the guy's property, so she'll go alone. She pretended to be the Duke's friend. They talked a lot on Talk Talk. Chloe didn't tell anyone how she really felt. 3 days later, she came to the Duke. She could not gather the strength to enter his chambers. After some time, she went into his room. She began to stutter when she saw the guy in front of her. Peter did not get out of bed. He was on bed rest after being wounded. She brought the guy a letter of apology. The girl could not stand calmly next to him. Chloe fell to her knees in front of him, ashamed because it was her fault that the guy was bedridden. The girl hit the guy because she thought he had hurt her friend, but she was mistaken about his intentions. She read her letter with tears in her eyes. The girl was grateful that the guy was there for her friend and saved her. Chloe will pay for the guy's treatment. She is ready to help him in everything, if only he will forgive her and allow her to continue doing her business. The girl hopes that her speech will touch the Duke. She will beg him to forgive her. The first thing Chloe heard was that she was asked to stand up. She should not humiliate herself in front of the Duke. Chloe doesn't understand why the guy is so nice to her. She won't get up because this is her place. Peter had still not recovered from his injury, and he was pleased that the girl visited him. The guy sees his own fault in what happened. He acted recklessly. He should have taken the girl to a safe place and then helped her. He doesn't blame the girl for not knowing all the intricacies of using mana. The Duke treated her with all kindness after everything that happened to him next to the girl. Chloe began to think that she had hit the guy too hard, that the guy had problems with his head. Peter has an advantage. He's a mage, so his recovery is faster, and there's no need to worry about his condition. If he were the girl, he would have done the same thing. The guy understands that Chloe was defending her friend. The girl came here because she was worried about herself and her business after the incident at the auction. When the girl stood up, she lost her balance. Peter caught her. He had a request for her. He asked the girl to stay. The guy doesn't want guests in his house to feel uncomfortable. Chloe felt awkward about the guy's behavior, but she didn't object, so she stayed. She sat down on the bed so as not to embarrass the guy. The girl thought about how warm the Duke's hands were. The guy called his people to take care of the girl. She can't sit empty-handed. Peter asks her not to worry about his condition. He understands what torment the girl went through. Everything will be fine with him. Chloe felt awkward because she should be the one apologizing for her behavior, not the guy. She understands that it was a mistake, but she cannot forgive herself for breaking the vase on the Duke's head. He is her client, with whom she communicates via Talk Talk, but now a completely different person was sitting in front of her. Chloe wants to do something for the guy to make up for the damage. The girl brought money and gifts with her to cheer up the guy, but Peter doesn't see the need for it. It would be enough for him if Chloe invited him to the next event after he ruined the first one. She doesn't understand why the guy is so kind to her. Chloe could calm herself down with hot chocolate. Peter wished her a good journey. He had a good time with the girl. Chloe promises her boyfriend that she will come here again. The guy will wait for her at any time. He likes to be alone with the girl. The girl remembers that she must run before the guy says the last word. She has no other way to avoid petrification. David was waiting for the girl. He wants to know that everything will be okay with her after the trip. She couldn't hold back her tears. One might have thought that something terrible had happened. The man does not understand why the girl is crying if the meeting went well, and the Duke does not hold a grudge against her. Chloe was worried about her company. She didn't think about the guy's condition. She was ashamed of her behavior. She didn't expect the Duke to act nobly towards her after what she had done. The girl thinks that the guy is a real angel who fell to them from heaven. Chloe returned home with the Duke's mug, promising herself that she will definitely return it to its owner. Tom doesn't understand why the guy forgave the girl so easily when she ruined all his plans. Peter didn't notice how the girl left him. He was thinking slowly. The guy wanted to send someone with her so she would have protection on the way home, but he forgot about it. Tom did not restrain himself. He wanted to understand why the Duke was behaving so strangely towards the Countess. Peter reminded that the girl paid his medical bill and brought gifts. He could not have done otherwise with her. He knows that the girl is in his debt now. The guy would not get anything from her. Tom suggested several options for how the girl could be forced to pay for the emotional damage. Peter has a lot of money, so he doesn't need the Countess's help. Tom tried to get through to his mind. He sees no reason why they would refuse the girl's services. Peter thought for a moment. Perhaps he should have agreed to compensation from the Countess. The guy doesn't see anything wrong with acting stupid in front of a girl sometimes, and besides, he's already received an apology from her. Tom doesn't understand how the Duke could forgive the girl for the letter. He was asked to forget this incident. Peter resolved the conflict, so it was possible to change the subject of conversation. He didn't get any serious injuries anyway, so the guy wants to relax. Tom accepted his order. He would not speak about the Countess anymore. Peter would like to see the girl without the blindfold. He was not angry with her and understood perfectly well how she felt. The girl woke up late in the morning. For some reason, she was not woken up. She had a meeting scheduled for the morning regarding the company, but her grandfather did not wake her up. David came to her too late. He no longer needed to wake the girl up. Chloe immediately turned on Talk and checked her messages. She told her partners that she had slept through the report. Grandpa has been spying on the girl's messages and wants to know she has everything under control. Chloe decided to find out the reason why the man didn't wake her up. He replied that the girl hadn't slept much lately, so he decided to give her a few more hours of healthy sleep. The man reminded the girl that she should respond to the messages so that she wouldn't feel bad. While talking with her partners, she thought about her boyfriend and became interested in how he spends his time. Chloe believes that everything will be fine with the guy, that soon there will be no trace of her blow left on him. David was surprised because the Countess wanted to contact the Duke. The girl wants to know how he is doing. She is interested in when they will remove the bandage as the last reminder of the wound. She felt awkward writing to him after she had cried in front of him, but her interest got the better of her. The man is worried because the girl wants to write to the Duke first, but he doesn't let her do it. He is afraid that the girl is deliberately imposing herself on the guy. Chloe didn't expect to see such a reaction from her grandfather. She didn't think that her behavior could be described in this way. The man's thoughts made her laugh, but she didn't understand what he was getting at. The conversation may seem harmless, but behind it may be hidden the beginning of blossoming love, courtship, and other consequences of the relationship. Chloe pointed out that the man doesn't mean what he really means. She just wants to know that the Duke is okay. David doesn't think the Duke will see the girl as someone who is interested in his health. She is sure that Peter is not like that he will not think of her as a girl in love. The girl doesn't have to worry that the guy might draw the wrong conclusions about her attitude towards him. Chloe wants to know how the Duke is doing. She won't ask anything else. David does not go back on his words. He believes that the girl should not impose herself on the Duke. He doesn't like that the girl doesn't listen to him after what he did for her after the death of her parents. Chloe doesn't understand why her grandfather started acting strangely, so she doesn't respond to his attacks. The girl had to answer him one last time so as not to turn into stone. She was sure that she had no feelings for the Duke. The girl convinced herself of this. Chloe started writing the letter, wanting to know firsthand how the guy was feeling. The girl couldn't figure out how to write to the guy so that it wouldn't be too dry or formal. Now she had a hard time communicating casually with the Duke because she couldn't see the guy's reaction to her messages. Chloe wrote as kindly as possible. She had been waiting a long time for a response from the Duke, when usually he answers her immediately. She didn't understand why there was still no answer. The girl couldn't go about her business without getting a reaction from the guy. David brought her some food so she could have a snack. He was surprised that there was no answer. He thought the guy might be busy because it was lunchtime. Chloe felt relieved. She can't explain the reason for this feeling, but she is still worried that the guy is upset with her. She became interested in what the Duke ate during lunch. She was sure that the guy, unlike her, did not eat at his desk. Peter can enjoy his favorite dishes. Perhaps this is how he spends every lunch. David tried for a long time to get through to the girl he was interested in what the Countess was thinking about. She didn't voice her thoughts to him. She said that she was thinking about herself. The girl waited for the guy to write to her. She responded to every notification, but it was spam. Chloe was unhappy that her contacts were leaked online. She doesn't want to receive emails from various organizations. She decided to test how the curse works in TalkTalk, so she won't be answering messages for now. She was fine. She never received the message from the Duke. It killed her. The girl regretted that she wrote first. She will never do that again. Chloe constantly ran to the device when she heard notifications. She was starting to get annoyed by the Duke's silence. She thought about her grandfather's words, and the girl began to think that the guy had interested her. The girl denies these thoughts. Nothing happened between her and the guy to spark any feelings. She didn't fall into his arms. Her heart didn't jump out of her chest. Chloe wasn't that girl in love. Chloe received another notification and decided to check it before bed to ensure she could sleep soundly. It was a letter from the Duke. She read that he was fine and how worried he was about her condition. The girl cannot answer him right away, so that the guy does not think that she has been waiting for him all day, when this is the case. She can't help but answer him, because what she doesn't want most is to turn into stone. Chloe is glad she checked her email, otherwise she might have become a stone in her dream. She didn't like that they exchanged only a couple of phrases. She wanted to chat with the guy a little. The girl wants to treat him to something tasty. She invited him to meet somewhere. She didn't think the guy would have work at night, so their conversation quickly ended. Chloe wanted to thank the guy. She regretted that she offered to treat him. The girl didn't immediately realize that she had started thinking about the guy in bed. She had to put all thoughts about him aside. Emily waited for her interlocutor to stop being distracted from the conversation. Peter didn't respond to Chloe's last message. He returned to reality and apologized to the girl for being distracted. Emily thinks that the guy will stop respecting her because her appearance has changed. A guy would never behave like that with a girl. He respects everyone, regardless of their appearance. The girl listened as the guy apologized for making the girl wait until he was free to talk to her. He explained that he had received a letter from a friend whom he could no longer ignore. Emily thinks the Duke might have replied in the morning that there was nothing important to him in the message. Peter didn't want to keep Chloe waiting for a response, so he texted her when he had a free minute. The girl came here to tell everything she could dig up about the rogue. The guy offered the girl to buy TalkTalk so that they could communicate from a distance. Apparently, the rogue took the form of a grandmother. He wandered around different places and now stopped in the capital. He was told that the magicians were unable to find any useful information. Peter can observe what is happening. He was in no hurry to visit the capital. Emily warned that the rogue would be difficult to catch, but no one listened to her. The guy is confident that he can find a way to catch this monster. The Duke asked her about the Countess's affairs. She could not reveal the reason for the clients coming to her. Peter thinks he can help the Countess, but he is not sure about it. He has not become close enough to her for this. Emily noticed how the guy's face changed when the conversation turned to Chloe. He was not one to be offended by words, and the mention of the Countess embarrassed him. The guy agreed that he didn't need to know the Countess's secrets. He didn't want to offend her. Emily noted that the Duke had not changed a bit. He remained the same kind person. Peter wants to help the girl, so he will ask her questions himself. Besides, he will soon go to dinner with the Countess. Chloe was trying to find a good restaurant to impress the Duke. She wanted to talk to someone who knew about this business. Perhaps Lydia knows a good place. She comes from a noble family, but left home because of a bad relationship with her parents. The Countess turned to her for advice. She explained that she needed help in choosing a restaurant. Chloe felt comfortable communicating with her, and they became close when the girl received the title and began going to social events. The girl described every detail concerning the meeting so that Lydia could recommend a decent place to her. She regretted writing to her because her interlocutor immediately began asking her about a possible lover. Chloe had a hard time getting Lydia to help her with her choice, and in the end, she asked her not to spread rumors. The girl didn't have time to finish the conversation before many people found out about her meeting. Chloe should have turned to her grandfather for help, not Lydia. She asked for help in vain. The Duke himself found a place and invited her. Chloe enjoyed talking to the guy. She felt special with him. She doesn't like that for every reply she gets another message she's back in dialogue hell. The girl began to end the dialogue with a simple period, so that the guy would definitely not be able to write anything to her. She arrived at the place, in her opinion. This establishment did not reach the level of the Duke. The girl wanted to surprise him. David said that he would wait for her in the carriage. He would not return home without the girl. Chloe didn't know what to dress for such an event. She didn't want to look too formal or too romantic. The waiter greeted her. He realized that the Duke was waiting for the girl. The guy walked her to the table, and the girl began to feel anxious. She doesn't understand the reason why she started to get so nervous when the girl is going to dinner not for the first time. Peter was waiting for the girl. The guy was properly prepared for the meeting with her. Chloe was amazed by his beauty and regretted that she had dressed so simply. The girl remained calm and did not show that she felt uncomfortable in this image. Peter admitted that he was worried about her after their last meeting. Chloe reassured him that she was fine. Her throat was dry, and it was clear that something was gnawing at her from the inside. Peter chose this place for the meeting because he learned that the Countess often visited it both for business meetings and for herself. The girl is grateful to him for this choice. The restaurant means a lot to her. As a child, she often spent time here with her parents and retained warm memories. She felt pleased because the guy took care of her comfort. She's glad she was able to get out of the house and go out with her boyfriend. She's had a lot of work on her plate lately. Chloe had a great time. She said that she loves spicy food, even asking the waiters to add extra pepper to her food. The girl noticed a strange silhouette in the window, which confused her. It was the same grandmother who cursed the girl. Chloe forgot that there was a guy sitting in front of her. All her attention was focused on the old woman. She told the guy that she needed to powder her nose, so she would step away for a while. Peter told her that she didn't have to hurry. He would wait for her. The girl quickly ran out into the street. She did not find her grandmother. She ran forward when she saw her silhouette. The girl screamed, asking her to stop. Chloe kept up with her, but still couldn't catch up. The girl was too slow. The girl found herself alone on the street. There was not a soul around, she screamed, asking to remove this damn curse from her. She began to suspect that she was looking not for a person, but for a rogue. She ran out of strength to run. Chloe ran onto an unfamiliar street. She doesn't see any traces of her grandmother, so she should return to the Duke so that he doesn't wait for her for long. She remembered what the Duke had answered her in the end. This detail had slipped her mind. The girl realized that she hadn't answered the guy. Her legs began to turn to stone. She tried to shout to the old woman until the very end. Chloe decided to shout into the air that she needed the Duke's help. She believed that this could be taken as an answer. Peter sat alone for a long time. He was not going to leave until the girl returned to him. Last night, Emily watched the guy's reaction when the conversation turned to Chloe. He is worried that something serious has happened to the Countess since she had to turn to magic for help. Peter admitted that he has a human connection with the girl and that he is interested in her. Emily listened to him attentively. She was surprised how the guy explained his desire to help the Countess. The guy realizes that the girl is not interested in him because he was invited to a meeting to make amends with him. He knows exactly what he's saying, so Emily's remark threw him off balance. The girl is sure that the guy was rejected, so he can't hope for anything more. The guy refuses to believe it, even though deep down he knows that nothing will happen. He is sure that the girl would show him that she is uncomfortable being around him. Peter enjoys thinking about the girl and enjoys spending time with her. He decided to check something before the girl arrived. The guy warned the waiter that he would definitely return. The Duke went outside and saw the girl's carriage. He made sure that she had not run away from him. The Duke felt mana. It surrounded him. The guy cannot ignore this moment. He was used to relying on his intuition, so he was absolutely sure that the girl's departure and the flow of mana could not be a simple coincidence. Peter understands that the girl is somewhere on the street, but he doesn't know where exactly. The guy walked along different streets in search of a girl. He practically got lost. The Duke changed his path but always came to the same place. He begins to think that this place is an illusion. He had the idea that the girl had actually gone to the restroom and might not see him in the restaurant when she returned. Peter went out to find the girl. He is afraid that she might be disappointed in him. He heard the Countess calling him for help. The guy would not leave her in trouble. The guy ran towards the sound and saw a terrible picture in front of him. Chloe turned to stone when she answered him. She didn't have time. Peter was surprised when he saw that the Countess had turned to stone. He didn't know what to do with it. The magic passed. The girl's body returned. She could not stand on her feet and began to fall. The guy quickly caught her. He doesn't want her to get hurt even more. The Duke is convinced that the girl is human, and he wants to find the one who allowed himself to mock the fragile creature. Peter doesn't know why Chloe came here and why she lost consciousness. He won't leave her like this. He decided to take her to the doctor because the girl's appearance frightened him. The guy felt the mana flows disappear. He thinks that Chloe got into this situation because of him. It was obvious to him that the rogue had used the girl as bait to get closer to the Duke. Peter encountered a real monster who is not afraid to use people for his own purposes. David slept in the carriage because he was not needed. He did not know what happened to the girl. He was scared when he saw Chloe in such a state. The guy could not explain everything and asked the man to calm down. The man was surprised when he heard that Peter would take the girl to his home. He wants to check Chloe's condition. The guy understands that there are no visible wounds, so he needs to examine her soul. David can take the lady himself. He sees no point in her going to the Duke's house. Peter is worried about her. He tries to push such thoughts away from himself, but it doesn't work. The guy explains that he knows how to cure a magical disease that most likely affected the girl. He called the man with him so that he would not worry about Chloe's condition. David would not leave her alone. The Duke ordered her to go to his house, and he laid the girl down so that she would be comfortable. It was clear that something was bothering Chloe. It seemed like she was being haunted by nightmares. Peter decided to calm her down with strokes. He knows that touch gives warmth. The girl felt at ease in his arms, and the guy was enveloped in a feeling he had never experienced before. Chloe came to in an unknown room. She didn't know where she was. She remembered seeing her grandmother and running after her, but was unable to catch her, after which she turned to stone. The girl is glad that she came to her senses, that she did not remain in a state of stone for the rest of her life. David lay next to her the whole time, waiting for her to wake up. He thanks God that she woke up. Chloe remembers how her appearance turned to stone. The man said that the Duke brought the girl to him unconscious. He did not see her in a state of stone. Now she was fine. The man said that they were in the Duke's house. Chloe doesn't understand why she's here when she has her own home and her own bed. David spoke about the Duke's desire to personally check Chloe's condition. He could not tell him about the curse, so he agreed. The girl regretted running after her grandmother, but it was her only chance to break the curse. Chloe didn't notice that she was wearing different clothes. She wants to go home. The Duke called his men to change the girl's clothes and prepare her for bed, because she did not come to her senses for a long time. Chloe is surprised that the guy is worried about her condition when she constantly brings him nothing but trouble. She's afraid to think what the Duke thinks of her now after everything that happened. She needs to apologize to him properly. The man could not go to bed while the girl was in serious condition. The girl promises herself that she will be careful. She does not want her loved ones to suffer because of her. Besides, she could have died twice already. Chloe asks the man to go and rest. They both need time to breathe. She didn't think she could sleep there, but she ended up sleeping all night. Chloe didn't find her clothes. She found the outfit that was prepared for her. The girl wants to get ready as soon as possible and ask the Duke for forgiveness. She feels uncomfortable because of the problems caused. She thought that her grandfather had decided to come to see her, but it was the Duke, and she invited him into the room. The guy came with David. He wants to know that everything is okay with the guest. Chloe doesn't think about the guy's feelings because here she should be ashamed. She doesn't ask unnecessary questions. She was surprised when Peter bowed before her. The girl expected something else. The guy asked her for forgiveness. He didn't want the girl to think badly of him. He was worried because he blamed himself for the girl's bad condition. Chloe didn't understand at what point their positions changed when she wanted to ask for forgiveness. The guy said that there were traces of the rogue on the girl's body. They were like a curse. Peter believes that the Countess was subjected to the rogue's jokes because of him. The girl remembers that she drew out the curse even before meeting the Duke. She does not see the connection here. The Duke tries to catch the rogue. He thinks that the monster decided to attack the girl to lure him out. Chloe likes how cool the guy is, but she knows it's not his fault she's in this condition. She is sure that there was a major misunderstanding here. Chloe understands why Peter came to this conclusion, and unfortunately, she can't tell him the truth. The girl hopes that David can help her. He was powerless here. She tried to take the guilt off the guy by explaining that the reason was something else. Peter knows that the rogue sent a message through the girl telling him not to try to look for him anymore. Chloe doesn't know how she can get out of this situation. The guy feels ashamed for being inattentive and putting the girl in danger. The Countess wants to sort out the situation first. She needs to calm the guy down and lift him off the floor. She said she was in danger for another reason, and the Duke was not to blame. Chloe tried to tell about the curse that had befallen her, but she failed. The guy doesn't understand her. He's convinced that he's the main culprit behind all the girl's misfortunes. The girl assures the guy that he can rest assured. Peter was amazed that the girl was trying to calm him down, that she was trying to relieve him of his feelings of guilt. He is grateful to her for saying all this for his well-being. The guy is not going to shift his responsibility onto her fragile shoulders. Chloe won't be able to get it into his head that it's entirely her fault. Peter wants to find a way to protect the girl from the rogue's magic. For her, the best way to protect herself is silence she is in danger because of the guy's manners. She admitted to herself that she enjoyed communicating with the guy, despite some difficulties. The girl said that she had enough security to protect her. Peter is surprised that the girl continues to blame herself when he put her in danger. The Duke understands that security will not save him from the rogue. He cannot be stopped by force. Chloe didn't fall prey to the rogue. She simply pulled out the wrong piece of paper and was cursed. The guy will take on all the costs of protecting the girl. He will find the best magicians who can help her. The girl asks not to help her. It was unnecessary. David came to her aid. He explained that the girl would be uncomfortable being around strangers. Peter realized this and regretted that he had not thought of this detail himself. Chloe doesn't see anything dangerous in this situation. She asks the Duke to forget this conversation. The guy found a new way. He will personally protect the girl, because he is not a stranger. The girl didn't expect to hear such a proposal. She almost lost consciousness. She admitted that she felt sympathy for him, but could not accept such an offer. Peter waited for the girl to say the word. He wants to take on the protection from the monsters. Chloe told him that there was a reason why she was in danger, but she couldn't voice it. It wasn't the guy's fault. She tried to convince the guy that she was right. Peter was not going to stop. He was confident in his conclusion. The guy recalled the incident with the maid and the magician who promised to work with Lily. Chloe remembers very well who tried to harm her friend. It turned out that the guy was giving a lecture at school that day. It's hard to say for sure, but there's a good chance the rogue caused a stir at the school when he transformed into this mage. This news shocked the girl. She was completely confused. Chloe began to think that the rogue had decided to make fun of either Lily or Peter, and that he didn't need the girl at all. David decided to agree with the Duke's opinion. He thinks that the Countess will feel calmer with him. Peter is glad that they agreed with him. He will put all his honor into protecting the girl. Chloe can't say what she really thinks about this. She remembered that the guy had a lot of things to do, and she didn't want the Duke to have any more problems because of her. Peter came here to catch the rogue, so it's good for him to be near the girl. He insistently asks the girl not to refuse his help. Chloe wanted to convince the guy, but the girl doesn't let her do it. The girl doesn't understand why the man is behaving so strangely. He has changed. Peter decided to end this conversation because it was time for them to move on to breakfast. He hoped that Chloe would keep him company. The girl doesn't have time to answer the guy. She decided to think about his offer of protection after eating. She thanked the guy, her heart almost jumping out of her chest. Chloe couldn't come to her senses. She couldn't breathe in the carriage. During breakfast, they agreed that the Duke would accompany Chloe in public places. It was difficult for her to refuse the guy's company because problems followed her in public places. She is completely sure that the guy is not guilty of anything. David did not deny that this option is possible. He wants to think about it. Chloe doesn't see the point because she met the rogue before meeting the Duke. The girl didn't read the book she received from the agent. She is sure that there is nothing useful in it. She turned the pages and did not see anything interesting. The man asked to open the book at a certain place. Chloe read that the rogue will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. He can attack everyone. He uses people, can kill them, to achieve his goals. The girl was frightened by the thought that the rogue could kill her or the Duke. David thinks that the guy was the first target for which the curse was cast on the girl. The man believes that such a possibility really can exist. This was a sudden turn of events for Chloe, who was sure that the guy had nothing to do with it. David told how scared he was because Lily could have been attacked by a rogue. He reminds us of the seriousness of the situation. The girl does not want the Duke to become her employee. Her position has changed. The man asks her to accept help from the Duke so that she is prepared for danger. He doesn't want to see the girl leave this world before him. Chloe will not resist. She understands that there is no way she can dissuade the Duke from helping her. David suggests being happy when such a strong person offers his help. It was a brilliant performance by the man, and it worked perfectly. The man sees only advantages in this situation because the girl is also interested in the guy. Chloe denies that she has any feelings for the guy. She likes him as a person, nothing more. David doesn't believe her because she writes to him first, because she wants to know everything about him. The man is sure that the girl's parents would like such a handsome son-in-law. She doesn't want to continue this conversation. Chloe is sure that the guy is only helping her out of responsibility. Tom was shocked when he learned what had happened during his absence. He could not believe that the Duke would accompany the girl because of the rogue, that he would become her personal guard. Peter did not argue with the knight. He was glad to get down to business. Tom stops understanding this world. He is surprised by the decisions made by the Duke. He can understand the story about the rogue, but he doubts that the Duke can be to blame for the girl's curse. Peter made a decision. He would never leave the Countess alone in danger. Tom was even more surprised when the conversation turned to the girl's shyness and the fact that she didn't let strangers near her. The guy is confident that a shy person will keep his mouth shut and won't be rude to everyone around him. Peter reminded that the girl had an excuse for such behavior. Tom knows for sure that the Countess played dumb to get away from the Duke because she definitely has the guts to run a business. The Duke trusts the girl, so he does not go back on his promises. He thought of her with warmth and was pleased with the thought that they would spend time together. Tom can't believe that the Duke is worried about the girl's diet. He asks the guy to stop thinking about unimportant things. The guy understands that he won't be able to convince the Duke, so he decides to tell him about all the risks that will haunt him. Peter doesn't care about rumors, so he will do what he wants. Tom wants to find a way to help the Countess so that the Duke's reputation can be saved. He liked the idea of the Countess accompanying the Duke. Peter doesn't see any advantages in this. He believes that such an attitude would be disrespectful towards the girl. Tom understood his thoughts. He imagined that in such a case, the girl's behavior would be regarded as an encroachment on someone else's authority. The Duke was on good terms with the knight and trusted him completely. He didn't expect to hear that he was actually looking for a reason to spend more time with the Countess. Tom wanted to hear the truth from the Duke. He didn't want to leave without it. Peter didn't know what to answer. He remained silent after the accusations, pretending not to hear him. At home, Chloe found an application for admission to university, which delighted her friend. Lily doubts that she needs to learn magic. She knows that training in this place is expensive. She can't afford it. Chloe thinks her friend is turning down the offer because she doesn't have a scholarship. The girl understands why Lily is worried. Tuition at this school is quite expensive. She asks not to worry about the price tag because she has enough money to help her friend. Lily agreed with her, so she started filling out the paperwork. Chloe is happy that Tok sales have increased so she can help her people. She has a problem in the person of the Duke. She understands that, because of her, the guy could get into trouble. The girl received a message from the Duke. She asked her friend to fill out the paperwork while she talked to the guy. She read about a meeting of magicians that would take place in the guy's mansion, and Lily might go there. Peter doesn't put pressure on the girl. He wants her to make the decision to attend the event with peace of mind. Chloe read the details of the meeting carefully and began to think about the proposal. Lily has difficulty communicating with people, but it would be useful for her to attend a magician's event where she can learn a lot of new things. The girl didn't forget to answer the guy. She thanked him for the invitation and promised to discuss everything with her friend. She said that so far she hasn't had any problems with the rogue, so the guy can sleep peacefully. She doesn't need the Duke to write to her constantly, but she can't refuse him this. Peter received permission to write at any time, so he promised to write to her tomorrow morning. Lily sat nearby the whole time. She did not interfere with the girl's communication with the Duke and noticed a change in the Countess's face. After talking to the guy, Chloe acted strangely. Her smile was too wide. She admitted that the person she has a crush on will constantly write to her. Lily realized that they were talking about the Duke. She had heard Lydia talk about it once. Chloe doesn't like the rumors being spread about her. She had to say that she doesn't have any serious feelings for the Duke. Lily pretended to believe her, but she couldn't help but laugh. Chloe asked her not to think anything bad about her and the Duke. There was nothing between them. The girl began to receive letters from the Duke every morning, asking her to talk about all possible plans for travel. She found it difficult to reply to messages, but she couldn't do anything because of the curse. She kept up the conversation. She received various offers from the guy to accompany him to the festival, but the girl refused, citing business. Chloe wants to leave the house. She doesn't have enough air here, but because of the Duke, she can't go anywhere. David didn't like this stubborn trait in the girl's character. He didn't see anything wrong with her leaving the house. He suggested that she go somewhere with the Duke for her. This was the best option. The girl doesn't want to use the guy. Her conscience doesn't allow her to do this. She feels awkward walking around with the Duke as a bodyguard. She can't deny the fact that she could have suffered because of him. The man reminded her that she needed to attend a meeting regarding the report. Chloe decided to go there without warning the Duke. The girl's decision shocked the man. He couldn't hold the things in his hands. She is sure that it is much more dangerous for a girl to be around a guy. David asks her to understand the seriousness of the situation. He is worried that the girl may die because of her confidence. Chloe decided to write a will in advance to avoid any problems. The man does not understand how the girl can talk about her death so calmly. The girl was surprised by the man's reaction. She didn't have time to answer him. She had to run out of the office and shout after him so that he would get an answer. David showed with his whole appearance how dissatisfied he was with the girl's decisions. Chloe is tired and faces challenges every day. She is waiting for all the torment to end. She is tired of worrying that her interlocutor remains without her answer. The girl wants to meet the Duke, but she doesn't want rumors to spread about her buying her way into his presence. Chloe decided to go alone, but it didn't work out. Peter was waiting for her. It was an honor for him to accompany the girl. The girl doesn't understand why the guy in front of her looks so good. She needs to stop thinking about it. Chloe is sure that the man called the Duke so that she would not be alone on the road. A dialogue without words took place between them. The man does everything to keep the girl safe. She decided to remain silent and not scold the man. The girl didn't want to make a scene. Peter was handsome. Chloe wasn't going to be nice to him because of his charming smile. The girl acted faster than she thought. She immediately went with him, holding his hand. The guy was a gentleman next to her, but the girl felt uncomfortable because of this attitude. David decided not to interfere with Chloe spending time with the Duke. He left them alone. He took a seat next to the coachman so as not to disturb the couple's conversation. At first, there was silence inside the carriage. Chloe didn't know what to say. Peter spoke first. He thinks that the girl looks different today. He likes looking at her. Chloe doesn't understand what the guy is talking about. She didn't change anything in her appearance to surprise him. She remembered that she was dressed differently, that the guy had not seen her like this. Peter is glad that he arrived in uniform. He doesn't want to offend the girl with his appearance. She was shocked when she heard that the guy prepares for each of their meetings, that he wants to look good next to her. The guy feels good. He looked charming, so it's impossible to be offended by him. Chloe thinks the Duke looks good every day to impress. She apologized for contacting him through the butler, but she was not going to say that it was done without her knowledge. Peter admitted that he was upset that Chloe didn't write to him personally. He asks her to personally inform him of all her movements next time. Chloe promises to always write to him. The guy joked that he understood that the girl might have a lot of things to do, which is why she can't always answer him. Chloe is surprised that the Duke has a sense of humor. She saw a new side of him. Peter admitted that he enjoys talking to the girl, so he wants to talk to her in person. The girl stopped thinking when such a cute guy was sitting in front of her. She felt hot in the carriage and wanted to leave it to breathe normally. She noticed that the Duke was not taking his eyes off her, and the girl assessed his appearance. His eyes were an extraordinary color. You could drown in them. Chloe forgot to answer again. She had to say that she liked talking to him too. Peter was pleased to hear this. His feelings were mutual. After numerous empty answers, the girl suggested sitting in silence so that she wouldn't have to come up with a reason for ending the conversation. Lydia came to work. She doesn't believe in the relationship between Chloe and Peter, but she liked to annoy the girl and watch her reaction. She was surprised when she heard that the head of the company arrived accompanied by a man. The girl followed the others to see everything for herself. The Duke helped the girl out of the carriage. He was not embarrassed by the looks of strangers. Chloe greeted everyone in the building. She was glad to see everyone. Everyone started discussing the affair between the Countess and the Duke. Lydia doesn't believe that her joke turned out to be true. The girl asks everyone to return to work, then they can discuss everything. Chloe brought her boyfriend to an internal meeting, and she felt a little awkward because he didn't need to be there. She doesn't know what to do with him. The girl understands that she can't leave him on the doorstep. Peter said that he would wait for her at the door and would not disturb her as she led the meeting. He understands that he will be out of place in the office because it is not his job, so the girl decided to take him to the living room so that he could rest. Peter won't go anywhere. He wants to quickly come to the girl's aid if something happens. The girl began to feel guilty because she hadn't hired the guy to take care of her like that. She started the meeting. She needs to be careful, because now, except for herself, no one will help her not to turn into stone. Chloe decided to introduce a new rule that would help her stay alive. The girl warned everyone that she had the last answer, and no one should speak after her. The workers started discussing this rule. They do not understand why such a decision was made. Chloe knows how weird she looks to others, but she can't help it. Lydia decided to inquire about her health. Chloe replied that she was fine, and there was no need to answer further. 6 years have passed since the creation of Talk Talk, and the girl does not have to worry about competition because she is the only one with the rights to this device. She spent a lot of time at the meeting, and her whole body was numb. The girl was frightened by the sensations in her body. She couldn't believe that the worst thing had happened. She had already experienced this feeling in the worst moments of her life. Chloe checked her legs and made sure that she was definitely turning to stone. Her feelings had not failed her. Lydia noticed that the Countess began to behave strangely. She wants to help her. The boys didn't have time to say anything before they received an order from the Countess to remain silent. Chloe wasn't as scared because she immediately understood what was happening. She needed to answer last for her body to return to its previous state. The girl is sure that she responded to everyone, so she needs time to find the source of the problem. Lydia tried to talk to her. Chloe quickly shut her up. She doesn't want to hear anyone. She doesn't want to turn into stone in front of the staff. The girl doesn't understand why her grandmother has become so cruel towards her. Chloe was sure she was the last one to answer. She couldn't hold back the cry of disappointment. Everyone present was surprised by the Countess's behavior. They didn't know what to do with her. Chloe began to remember every conversation, how she spoke with the Duke in the carriage. She had a hunch that she hadn't answered the guy again. The girl decided to call him for help while she could still speak. She had lost the feeling of half her body. Peter ran into the office as soon as he heard the girls scream. He was ready to attack the enemy. He had a quick reaction. He would not allow anyone to harm the girl. He wants Chloe to feel safe, and it's important to him to keep her healthy. Everyone in the office held their breath as an amazing picture unfolded before their eyes. The girl didn't notice how her legs returned to normal. She felt awkward because of the guy's attitude towards her. Peter had no intention of letting her go while she was in danger. Chloe is amazed at how important it is for the guy to protect her, how important it is for him to keep her safe. She accepts the fact that she forgets to answer him because of the guy's peculiarity next to her. He was incredible. The couple didn't immediately remember that there were other people in the office besides them. Chloe can't bear to be in this state in front of the staff. She explains to everyone that she is perfectly fine. The girl understands that the guy can save her from any disaster, except her own shame. Peter asks the girl to tell him everything that happened to her in his absence, that she needed his help. The guy's face was too close to the girl's. He couldn't see the boundaries between them. Chloe said that no one attacked her, which makes Peter confused as to why she started calling him. The girl doesn't know how she can get out of this situation. There were too many witnesses. She won't be able to tell everyone about the curse, and she won't be able to come up with a reason why she called the guy here. Chloe decided to lie and say that she wanted to take care of the couple because he was sitting alone in the hallway for too long. The guy was surprised when he heard this reason. Everyone in the office was surprised by the girl's behavior. Peter can't hear the real reason behind what's happening. Chloe is confident that the Duke will not cause them any problems, and she is looking for support in Lydia. The girl was delighted because they had such a charming company at the meeting. All the workers confirmed the Countess's version, and they began to spin her lie. Lydia couldn't keep silent. She liked looking at the girl next to the Duke. Chloe was ashamed that she had to lie to everyone because of her. She just wants to live. She needed to continue the meetings, so she asked the guy to let her go to the ground. She assured him that she was perfectly fine, so there was no need to worry about her so much. Peter let her go. The girl was able to move her legs freely. Everything returned to normal. Chloe enjoyed being in the guy's company. She thought about the guy's hands. She noticed that his presence gave her new sensations. The girl could not believe that Peter treated her like his mistress. When he was higher in status than her, he cared about her appearance. Chloe asks not to correct her. She can take care of how she appears in front of her employees. Peter apologized for his behavior. He should not have violated the girl's boundaries. They apologized to each other. After this misunderstanding, the girl wants to continue the meeting. Lydia quickly found a place for the Duke to fill. The girl did not respond to all of the guy's proposals. Chloe began to envy this opportunity. Lydia told everything she had prepared, and that was the end of today's report. Chloe praised everyone for their efforts. She is sure that the same success awaits them next year. After these words, she let everyone go. The girl wanted to answer the Countess, but shut up in time. Chloe reminded everyone that employees were to leave the premises silently. Lydia cast a worried glance at the girl. She did not question the Countess and went about her business. The girl was glad that her torment was over for today. She heard the Duke's voice. Peter wanted to talk to her when they were alone. Chloe realizes it's time to explain herself and that this behavior won't be forgotten. She knows how strange she looks, but she can't help it. She wants to run away. Peter was sure the girl was attacked when she started calling him. Chloe apologized for calling so loudly. She should have been quieter. The guy was silent. He didn't look as cheerful as usual. The girl noticed that the guy was kinder to her after she smashed a vase over his head. Peter thought that the rogue had broken into the office, that he had attacked the girl and cursed her. He was worried. Chloe is ashamed that she made the Duke worry. She didn't mean to cause inconvenience. She couldn't tell him anything. She was ashamed to look for justification for her actions. Peter wants to make sure that the girl was not hurt. It was important to him that everything was okay with her. He thinks that the girl didn't want to tell the truth in front of other people, so she came up with a stupid reason. Chloe is surprised that the guy is not angry with her, that he continues to worry about her. The Duke had broken down the doors to come to the rescue, so it was understandable that he felt strange when he was called for no reason. The girl apologized for behaving carelessly towards him. She didn't want to hurt his feelings. Peter was not offended by the Countess. Everything was fine with him. He was glad that nothing happened to the girl while he was away. That was enough for him. He felt calm at the thought that the Countess was not harmed. Chloe noticed how cold the guy's hands were. She could see how nervous he was around her. The guy was more worried that he could scare the girl with his appearance. He didn't want to be the cause of her problems. He promised to compensate for the damage caused by his abrupt appearance. He felt embarrassed that he had not been able to control himself. Chloe starts to think she's going crazy. She can't take her eyes off such a cute guy. She denies any possibility that she is developing real feelings for the Duke. The Countess promises to be more careful the next time she invites the guy, so that neither of them feels uncomfortable again. Peter asks to call him at any time. He will always be there for her when needed. The girl doesn't know what to respond to this confession. Her heart can't take it anymore because of this conversation. The guy was pleased because Chloe offered to help him in return, which was a great honor for him. He decided to kiss the girl's hand as a sign of respect for her. Chloe didn't know how to react. She had thoughts that the guy was showing a love interest in her. Peter took the girl home. He would be happy to accompany her on any trip. He said that he would go to his place after the girl was in the building, so that he would feel calmer. Chloe couldn't do anything about it. She had to play by his terms. The girl said goodbye to him in the hope that she would put an end to this conversation. She quickly hid behind the door so that the guy wouldn't have time to say anything to her. Chloe promises herself to sort out her problems for the Duke's sake, so that he doesn't worry about her. The girl continued to think about him, about his care, about how he worried about her. She fell into bed when the opportunity presented itself. The girl was very tired that day. David brought her some tea. She should drink it before bed to calm down and go to sleep. Chloe didn't talk to her grandfather. The man claims that he knows everything. He knows how the Duke heroically burst into the office and picked up the girl in his arms to protect her. The girl is not surprised that her workers told her everything. She does not remember the Duke promising to protect her at the cost of his life. David wants to hear when the lovers' wedding will take place. Chloe didn't want to continue this conversation. These rumors made her angry. She hid from the man to think she doesn't believe that she can actually like the guy, that everyone started discussing it. The next day, Chloe received a letter from the Imperial Palace. An old friend wanted to meet her. Chloe remembers that he is kind to her. She has another heavy burden to bear. David reminded her that she didn't visit him for New Year's, so he might be offended by her indifference. The girl cannot calm down because His Majesty is credited with the success of the talk, but she does not visit him. Chloe reminded the man that she could not help but answer His Majesty. The curse would not allow her to remain silent. David accepted her decision. Before the girl's meeting with His Majesty, he would contact the Duke. The Countess asks him not to do this. She does not want to leave accompanied by him. The man does not understand the reason for such a strong reaction. Chloe knows that bad things will be said about her if she appears at such an event accompanied by the Duke. She is used to people talking badly about her, and she doesn't want the same thing to happen to Peter. David noticed that the Countess had become much kinder when it came to the Duke. She was changing before his eyes. Chloe didn't like what she heard from the man. She started screaming at his back in the hope that he would stop talking this nonsense. The girl got ready for the meeting and had to lie to the Duke so that he wouldn't follow her. She wrote to him that she would sit at home all day and that she had no plans. Peter felt relieved because he had some business of his own that would have prevented him from accompanying the girl. Chloe doubts that she can meet him at the palace. She feels guilty towards him. A girl approached her. She would take the Countess to the Empress. The girl hadn't dressed so formally for a long time. She felt uncomfortable in these clothes. The assistant informed her that the Empress had another guest, so Chloe would have to wait a little. The girl doesn't see anything wrong with this. She's interested in the person who got ahead of her. She didn't wait long. The girl exhaled before going to the Empress. It was an honor for her to meet Her Majesty. She had not visited her for a long time. Mary is offended that the girl comes to her because of her requests. She asked to be treated like a family member. Chloe can't treat her like her grandmother. She can't let go of the difference between them. Peter also came to meet Mary. He did not expect to see a girl here. Chloe froze. She didn't understand what the guy was doing here and what she should say after she lied to him. The girl started with a greeting and decided to ease the tension by asking a couple of polite questions. Peter was fine. He felt awkward talking to the girl. The Empress noticed the sparks flying between the two and wondered what was going on between them. The guy was sure that the Countess would spend the whole day at home, so now it was difficult for him to hide his surprise. Chloe started making excuses. She didn't want anyone to think badly of her. It was difficult for her to explain herself under the Empress's watchful gaze. The Empress was interested in observing the Countess's reaction. The girl said that she had to come here because she received an unscheduled invitation. Peter calmed down when he heard this answer. He beamed with happiness. Mary is shocked by the guy's naivety. She doesn't understand how anyone could believe such an obvious lie. She needs to help the guy wake up. The Empress doubted the Countess's words and said that she had sent the invitation several days ago. She liked to watch the guy and how his face changed after the Empress's words. Chloe was on edge. She didn't know how to get out of her web of lies. Mary noticed that Chloe was starting to get nervous and she pointed it out. The girl stopped speaking clearly and found it difficult to gather her strength when she was exposed. Mary understands that her words could lead to the girl's hysteria, so she decided to talk about the girl's business. Chloe has regained her composure when it comes to her devices, coming up with a new design for Tok Tok. The woman wants to be the first on the list to see the finished product. The girl is glad that the Empress is her sponsor, so she will gladly provide her with the first copies. Mary was pleased with this answer. She liked that she made the girl suffer. Chloe and Peter couldn't look at each other properly. Their nervousness was palpable in the air. The girl wanted to disappear into thin air when the Empress discussed her behavior. Mary understands that it will be difficult for the young girl to resist looking at the charming Duke. The Empress is confident that she has planted the seed of love between them, but the couple does not know how to react to this. She noticed that the couple was hiding something. The woman decided to end the meeting because she heard and saw everything she wanted. Peter thanked the Empress for the invitation, and he did everything he planned here. Chloe didn't know what to do. She felt awkward when the guy stood next to her. They were lucky to live in peaceful times, and the Empress was lucky to see the birth of love before her own eyes. She would like to regain her youth so that she can experience such feelings again. Chloe forgot to say goodbye, so she had to go back. Mary hopes that the girl will visit her more often. She liked Chloe's manners. The girl said the last word. She is glad that after meeting the woman she did not turn into stone. They left the room together, left alone. No one dared to speak. Chloe is worried that soon everyone will see her as the Duke's love interest. Now she has a problem more important than rumors. She must explain herself to the Duke. The girl stopped the Duke. She must offer him her sincere apologies. She regrets that she had to deceive the guy. She didn't mean to do it. Chloe would like to tell him the reason for her behavior, but she can't. She asks the guy to understand her. The girl is not blamed for the feelings she began to experience because of the appearance of the guy. She began to justify herself, saying that she was not embarrassed and that she had an explanation. Peter would like to know why the girl is acting strangely. Chloe remembered how the last time the guy didn't insist or ask her to talk about personal things. Peter thought they had become close enough for the girl to confess to him. The Countess doesn't understand what the guy is getting at, and she feels awkward because of the mention of the connection between them. The guy believed that they got to know each other much better, thanks to which they could be more open with each other. Chloe didn't deny the fact that they were close, but she didn't realize how close they had become. Peter wants to be there for the girl when she has problems, when there are holidays. The girl understands that this is exactly what she expected to hear, that there are only camaraderie feelings between them. The guy was glad when the girl decided to explain the status of their relationship. Chloe is sure that they have become good friends after all the bad things that happened between them. The girl began to think that she was mistaken, because after her words about friendship, the guy's face noticeably changed. The guy agreed with her. He thinks that they are close enough to call each other friends. Chloe calmed down. She was glad to be a friend to such a wonderful person. The guy continued to confuse the girl because he was still wondering about their status. The girl was lucky that she didn't say her thoughts out loud. She could have ruined the situation, but the guy fixed everything. She should be proud to have become a friend to the Duke. They can continue on their way. There is no need for them to return to this conversation. Peter will walk the girl to the mansion. He will not leave her alone. The guy will protect her. Chloe remembers that the guy had some business to attend to, so she is surprised by his offer to walk her home. The girl can get there herself. She wants the Duke to go straight to his business without being distracted by her. Peter will no longer ask the girl the reason for her strange behavior. He asks her to allow him to take her home without any explanation. She didn't like that the guy simply changed the subject of the conversation, but didn't forget about their friendship. She can wait for the guy while he takes care of his business. She has no plans for the evening. Peter invited her to join the sorcerers. He wants to discuss the rogue who is interfering with normal existence. He thinks that it would be better for the girl to go with him. He continues to feel guilty for what is happening to her. Chloe believes that the moment will come when she will be able to explain everything to him. On the street they were discussing sorcerers. The girl has no idea what they could do. She had the opportunity to ask the guy about sorcerers. She was interested in what exactly they do. The guy said that sorcerers control all the wizards who are scattered throughout the empire. They appear where there is chaos to protect the people. Sorcerers can help a person who is in trouble. This happened to the Countess's maid. The girl realized that it was difficult to catch them in place because they had a lot of work. Peter explained that magicians continue to study magic, which is shrouded in mystery. They came to the building where the meeting would be held. The girl did not expect it to be so big. The guy likes to watch the girl's reaction. He invites her to see everything from the inside. Chloe won't refuse such an offer. She's interested in what she can see. She imagined it differently. The girl didn't think that it would be so beautiful here. She will have to stay alone for a while the guy talks to the magician, then they will give her a tour. The girl doubts that she can be here because she is not a magician. Peter reassures her. He is sure that everything will be fine with her because he is next to her. Chloe assumed that Peter was the chief of the Imperial Sorcerers. The guy didn't deny it. He could easily be called the main one. The girl joked. She didn't expect her words to turn out to be true. Peter is a big shot in society, so the girl can feel calm and go explore this place. The guy didn't expect the girl to ask about other friends he might have brought here before her. He said that this was his first official visit to the capital, so Chloe was the only one he brought to such a place. The girl regretted asking such a question. She should have kept silent. She thought that she could be special for the guy, but she was wrong. The girl tried to hide her feelings. Peter warned that he had to be polite with the girl because she was a countess. Derek apologized. He thought that a girl at such a young age did not have a title. Chloe did not take offense at him. The guy was happy when he found out that the girl in front of him created Talk. It was an honor for him to meet her. He would be happy to show and tell the girl everything. The guy decided to start with his laboratory. The couple didn't expect Derek to get so excited about the girl's appearance. Derek prepared a place for her so that she could feel comfortable. The girl listened as the boys discussed catching the rogue. Peter was confident that they could do it, despite everyone's opinion. Chloe realized that the sorcerers did not know how to catch a rogue or whether it was possible to do so at all. She thinks that the Duke will be able to catch the rogue, thanks to which her curse will be lifted. The girl stopped understanding the guys. It seemed to her that they started speaking a different language. They were heatedly discussing what they could do. The girl tried to understand their speech, but it didn't work. Chloe realized that the conversation was over. She no longer needed to listen to incomprehensible words. She was about to leave when she heard Derek start discussing the special person Peter had found in the capital. The girl doesn't understand why everyone decided that she is the Duke's love. She is infuriated that rumors are spreading quickly. Peter asked the magician to end this conversation. He did not want to embarrass the Countess, who was his good friend. Derek doesn't understand why the couple hasn't announced their relationship yet, when there's nothing stopping them. He sees a great couple between Chloe, a brilliant businesswoman, and Peter, a great sorcerer. The girl couldn't help but laugh nervously as Derek continued to discuss the couple's possible future. She explained that she had met the Duke by chance today and that the situation should not be turned upside down. Derek enjoyed talking to the girl and liked that Chloe's appearance had brightened the boredom of the meeting. He invited the girl to other meetings. Chloe would be happy to appear here again. The girl was surprised when the Duke offered to accompany her instead of Derek, because they were already well acquainted. Peter wants to be with his girlfriend at all important events. It's an honor for him. Chloe joked, but her words were taken seriously. She didn't know what to say to the guy. The Duke wanted to accompany her. He was not afraid to walk with his friend. The girl doesn't understand why she feels bad every time a guy calls her a friend, even though she called herself that. Chloe decided to accept the guy's offer. She would go with him to the meeting. Derek could hardly contain his squeal of happiness. He promises himself that he will tell everyone about what happened, and Talk will help him do this. Peter believes that Derek will be more careful in his statements so as not to harm the Countess's reputation. He asks him not to spread rumors. Derek won't harm the girl. He noted that Chloe and Peter look good together. The Duke warned him that he would not tolerate anyone harming the girl. Chloe doesn't understand why everyone started worrying about her. Derek apologized for his impulsive behavior. The guy began to think that the girl was offended by him. This was not true. Chloe remembered him as a funny sorcerer. She wanted to go home, but the sorcerer detained her. He had an item that she would like. The girl was given a clear potion as an apology. She knows what it is. Derek was surprised that the girl had heard about him. He confirmed that she knew everything correctly. Chloe is worried that something bad might happen because the potion has been hidden for many years, and now it is in her hands. The girl was hungry. She spent a lot of time in the palace without food. Peter warns that it is better not to drink the potion because it is unknown what could have happened to it over the many years of storage. Chloe agrees with him. She likes looking at the potion because she has never seen anything like it before. She decided to listen to the Duke and not drink it. No matter how interesting it was, the guy was stopped by the girl's questions. The girl noticed that the liquid in the bottle was behaving strangely. The potion began to heat up. Chloe saw in the potion the image of her grandmother, who cursed her. Peter noticed that something strange was happening. He wanted to take the potion from the girl's hands. The bottle got very hot. She couldn't hold it in her hands, and her hands were burned. The girl doesn't understand what's happening. The guy rushes to her aid. Peter, without hesitation, shielded the girl from the fire with his body. He saved her. Chloe doesn't understand why the fire doesn't burn her. She expected it to hurt, but it didn't. The girl did not immediately realize that she was in the arms of a guy she was worried that they were too close to each other. Peter wasn't thinking about himself. He was worried about the girl. He was afraid that she could get hurt. Chloe was completely fine. There was not a trace left on her after what happened. The guy saved her. The girl noticed the protective dome when she stood up. The fire surrounded them, but did not come close. She remembered that the guy was a powerful sorcerer. He managed to protect both himself and the girl from the fire. Chloe was grateful to him. She felt pleased that the guy had not lied to her when he said that he would always protect her. Peter told her that it wasn't real fire, so it didn't burn them. The girl doesn't understand what's around them. The couple heard screams in the street. People wanted to know the reason for creating such a barrier. Chloe couldn't believe that the guy was capable of creating a high-level barrier. She looked at the barrier with admiration. It was surrounded by beautiful magic. The guy watched her reaction. He was worried about the girl's condition after what happened. Chloe couldn't take her eyes off the magic. It was the first time she had seen magic in action in real life. Servants appeared near the couple. They all saw that it was an illusion, so they do not understand why the guy decided to create a barrier. Peter noted that it was a fake explosion, which could have really scared the girl. He wants to make sure that she is okay. Chloe was okay. She thinks the guy is embarrassed because everyone in the area saw his abilities. Peter wanted to understand the situation. He needed Derek to figure out what kind of potion ended up in the girl's hands. Derek is surprised that his potion exploded. He knows for sure that this couldn't happen. The guy sees this case as an attempted murder. He understands that without him, the girl could have left this world. Chloe was scared of the guy. She had never seen him so angry about what was happening. He turned his attention to Chloe when she suggested going further. Peter relaxed when he looked at her, his old charm returning. The guy decided to take the girl home so she could come to her senses. Everyone on the street was surprised by his tenderness towards the lady. Chloe understood that everyone was discussing a possible relationship between her and the Duke. She tried to save face. The girl wants to go home, but she needs a minute to finally gather her strength. Peter demanded that everyone who surrounded them go about their business. He did not want them to be watched. Derek must conduct an investigation to understand how a dangerous potion could have fallen into the girl's hands. As they were leaving, the servants discussed the girl. They saw how much care the boy showed her. The girl returned to the carriage. She was tired that day. She had to tell David how she met the guy in the palace. The man saw that the girl had no face. He was worried that something terrible had happened to her. Chloe wants to rest. She will be ready to tell everything in a few hours. The boy kept the girl company in the carriage. The man again decided to go with the coachman so as not to disturb the couple. Peter remained silent, and the girl realized that he was tormenting himself over what was happening. She thinks he will apologize to her again, so she decided to say something. Chloe said she saw a familiar face in the potion before it started to heat up. Peter is surprised. He didn't expect that someone's image could be seen in the potion. He thinks that a rogue is involved in what happened. The guy knows that monsters can take different forms to achieve their goals. Chloe can't tell him she was cursed, no matter how much she wants to. The girl must be careful. She is afraid that the rogue continues to make her life difficult. She considered her situation, then looked at the guy. The guy was lost in thought and didn't react to the girl's movements. Chloe understands that she is in a difficult situation and she won't be able to explain everything to the guy normally. Peter wants to stay at the girl's house to control the situation. He asks her permission to do so. He worries about her, so he wants to make sure of her safety himself. Chloe had a bad feeling about this, and it was right. Peter noted that he would keep to himself so as not to cause her any inconvenience. The girl feels awkward about the guy's words and doesn't know how to react. The guy won't do anything that could in any way disgrace the girl. He can send a forgiveness letter to make his stay official. Chloe doesn't worry about her reputation because she has a small title. She's concerned about something completely different. She was scared of the fire, which was an illusion. No one was hurt, so there was no need to protect her. The girl doesn't want people to worry about her because of such little things. The guy thought about it. He understands why the girl refuses his help, but he wants to be on the safe side. Chloe suggests that the guy accompany her. Like the previous times, he does not need to stay at her house. Peter had planned to do just that until the girl lied to him and ruined everything herself. Chloe can't justify her lie. She shouldn't have met him at the palace. She thinks that her grandfather will be able to convince the Duke not to stay in the mansion, and so that they will not have more business. David was of a different mindset. He would do everything to make the Duke's stay at their home comfortable. The girl was betrayed. Peter asks not to waste too much time on him. He came here for work. David invites him to stay here forever. Chloe was unhappy that the man stood against her, that he supported the Duke. The girl can't fix anything. She suggested the guy bring his security because she has no one. Peter will invite only one person here so as not to inconvenience the hostess. Chloe thanks the guy for his concern and offers him lunch. They were alone at the dinner table, and there was a strange atmosphere between them. The girl regretted that she sat at the head of the table. She needed to relax, because she was the main one here, and not the Duke. She won't be able to offer the guy gourmet dishes, but the food from her chef can still compete with ordinary dishes. The guy liked being here. He was glad to sit next to the girl. He decided to give her his kind smile. The guy was pleased that they treated him with all kindness. Peter didn't get a chance to see the palace during the charity event, but now he realizes how different this house is from his own. Chloe didn't deny their differences. She doesn't spend much time here. The guy wanted to know the reason for this behavior. Then David appeared and he stopped talking. He needed to discuss something with the girl. He couldn't put off the conversation for later. The man wants the girl and the Duke to wait for food upstairs. They need to leave this place. He explained that the cook needed more time to cook because they had not expected the Duke to come and had prepared food only for the girl. Peter sat quietly while Chloe dealt with the problem, while she asked the cook to prepare something nice for the guest. The guy claims that he will like any dish. He understands that he arrived unexpectedly and that they were not prepared for him. Chloe and David didn't expect to hear this from the guy while they were arguing about food. They fell silent. The girl did not understand what the man was planning. She began to worry. The man admitted that the girl eats nothing but sandwiches. He worries about her health, and he can't get her to eat properly. Peter understands the butler's worries and reminds the girl that she needs to eat properly in order to do all the work. Chloe couldn't say anything when she was being pressured from all sides. She listened to her grandfather's lamentations about how unhappy he was with her. The guy knows that there is nothing healthy in the girl's diet, that she lacks useful elements. David is sure that the Duke loves those who eat well. Chloe wants to shut him up, but she is unable to do so. Peter didn't expect the man to make such a conclusion about him, and he began to worry. He warned that the girl was not obliged to listen to his advice because it was her life for which she was responsible. The guy decided that he would have the opportunity to have lunch with the girl while he was in the mansion. He did not want to be alone in the dining room. The girl was asked about this as a friend. Chloe thought about how to answer him to this request. David is sure that the guy is not addressing her as a friend. He sees love between them. The guy admitted that he was doing this out of love for the girl, that she was not just his friend. Chloe froze. She didn't expect to hear such a revelation from the guy. Peter corrected himself. He explained that his feelings for the girl were similar to those that the butler had for her, that this was not love for a partner. Chloe and David didn't expect the guy to explain his feelings this way. The guy decided to distract them by saying that he was hungry and had been waiting too long to be fed. David had completely forgotten about it. He would quickly return to the cook with the task of starting to prepare dinner. The couple was left alone. After everything that had been said, the girl could not start talking. They felt awkward. After a while, the table was set. They prepared the best dishes in a short period of time. The girl tried to eat normally in front of the guy. Peter said he was hungry, but he didn't touch the food. He started to act strangely and turned red. The girl asks him not to give her hope. They discussed that there was friendship between them and nothing more, but it seemed to her that the guy was hiding something from her. She thinks she looks just like the guy from the outside. She had to check her reflection to calm down. The girl wants to leave these thoughts alone. Chloe wants to calm down and continue eating. Chloe decided to ask the question directly, so as not to think about it anymore, so as not to worry anymore. Peter didn't expect the girl to want to talk to him. It was written on his face that he wasn't telling the whole truth.